Hello and welcome to the first episode of the Lost Airfields of Oxfordshire. Now in this series of videos we're going to be tracking down as many of Oxfordshire's lost airfields as possible. We're going to look at ones from World War One, World War Two, to even normal civilian airfields that are now lost. We're going to do our best to find what's left and uncover the amazing stories of these lost airfields. Now in today's episode we are nestled between the villages of Standford in the Vale and Shellingford, which are located just up the road from Wantage and Farringdon. Now that all you can see now is just a mix of agricultural land, a business park and an absolutely huge quarry. But now let's go back in time to 1931, and this is what this area looked like. An absolutely huge airfield. This was RAF Shellingford. Now this image is really amazing. It shows the absolute scale of the site. You can see the outer perimeter runway, you can see all the buildings that are no longer standing. It really is a treasure of a photo. So now let's get into the history of RAF Shellingford. So it officially opened in 1931 as a practice landing facility, which was part of the RAF's elementary flying training. It's a very simple airfield with no hard standing runway. It was just a basic grass runway. Now the airfield saw its share of action during World War Two. It was home to the No. 3 Elementary Flying Training School. It was mainly utilised for night flying, and then later on in 1943 the airfield played a crucial role in D-Day when the British pilots were trained to fly the airspeed Horsa gliders, which were crucial to infiltrating France. Now as well as the training school being based here, No. 3 Maintenance Unit RAF and even the Royal Netherlands Air Force had a small stint at the airfield. Now after World War II though, the elementary training school left in 1948, with the aerodrome officially closing on the 31st of March 1948. But now that wasn't the end though for RAF Shellingford. Like a lot of aerodromes in Oxfordshire, the US Air Force moved in during the 1950s. Its newest resident was the US Air Force 7568 Material Squadron, and their role was to provide radar maintenance for the 32nd Army Air and Missile Defence Command. RAF Shellingford officially came to an end in 1957 when the US Air Force moved out to another facility in the UK, and that was really the last time it was used as an airfield. So what is now left of RAF Shellingford? Not a lot, to be brutally honest, but there is stuff if you know where to look. A huge part of it now is Shellingford Quarry. The rest is taken up by the business park. But we know a few places and we are now going to take you to them, and we're going to explore all that is left of RAF Shellingford. Let's go. Okay, so the first building we can see of the just reveal this area's past is this one here. I'll just zoom it in for you now. Apologies about the wind. Very windy day. So this is actually one of the original hangars. I am pretty sure, I'll get the aerial photo up now, that this hangar is actually one of two. I'll circle it on the photo, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it's what I've got on the screen now is one of those two there. Only one there now, but still really cool to see that it's actually still there in the field. It is looking a bit dilapidated, but that is the problem with something this old. Right, so we're now going to move on back down that way, back across the public footpath. There's some more buildings down that way to show you. So we're here now on another area of the old airfield. We won't be revealing any locations of where these places are because we've actually asked permission and we've worked very hard to get permission to be on here. So please do not try and find this or come onto this land without permission. So as you can see, there's actually all the original concrete paths. We're walking along here. So this area would have had all sorts of buildings in it. Nothing remains really now other than what we've got over here. Now there's actually going to be two of these which you are going to see. So it's a Stanton air raid shelter, and it's still standing today. The Stanton is standing. So the owners sort of fenced off the entrance there. So these are, like I said, Stanton air raid shelters, named after where they were built from, which was the Stanton Iron Works. That was actually in Nottingham. These are actually sort of like prefabricated. As you can see, there's like a section there, section there, section there, and then they're sort of all put together like a big Lego set. And then at the back of it, I do apologise about the wind. We have picked a really bad day for filming. This is actually the rear escape hatch that you can sort of see in there. I'll just try and lower the camera a little bit. I don't know what you could actually see there, but yeah, these are really cool structures. They can hold 50 men. And yeah, they're pretty much always sunk into the ground like this, basically, just for extra protection. I would have absolutely hated to be in one of these. I know it's better than potentially getting hit, but being crammed in one of these with bombs falling around you must have been absolutely terrifying. Luckily, though, for my research, this airfield actually never got any direct hits with bombs. Right, so this is the first one. Let's now move on a little bit further down somewhere else in the field to the next one. See you in a second. Right, so we're now at the second Stanton shelter in this location. This one's in really good condition. We'll actually able to go inside it in a second. We'll show you on the inside. Oh, that wind is really bugging me. But again, you can see, like the other one, prefabricated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 pieces all popped together and bolted together. Really cool feature you can see with this one. Here we've actually got the original metal latches for the escape hatch roof, which is really cool. There we go, there's the escape hatch. But we were just discussing this, that if there was a direct hit on one of these, I'm not sure how well it would stand, really. If you're down that end, you're not going to be able to get to the escape hatch. Right, so let's now go inside and have a look at the Stanton shelter. See you in a second. Here you can sort of see where it is all joined together like a big Lego set. You've got the bolts there, really quick and easy to build. Let's have a little exploring. Ugh. We're not afraid to get dirty on this channel. So, oh Christ, yeah, imagine you got the air raid siren going off, 50 of your friends all sat down here. It would be really creepy. No. A big pile of twigs down this end. And there's the escape hatch. This is really cool that it's still standing here. As we've seen earlier on in the video, a lot of this airfield's history has been demolished, unfortunately. So it'll be gone forever, which is of course why we do this, to show how cool these things are before they're lost for good. But it's actually in really good condition. Imagine if you had one of these on your own land and you could make like a man cave. That would be really cool. Have a sofa and a TV down there. Little computer setup. That'd be great. Right, so now we've had a look at the inside of the second Stanton shelter. Don't worry, that's not the ghost of an RAF personnel, that is my friend. Let's get out of here and see what else we can find. Oh, there's some original brickwork there where you would have come down. Oh, ow, just caned my back. Right, now let's go and have a look what else we can find. See you in a minute. Right, so we're now in what looks just like a random bit of wasteland, but it's not. I've been told by the owner of the land that this actually was like a big pit, basically. She's called it the diesel pit. This whole thing was just originally a big hole, but the landowners of the industrial estate, they did some work and they asked if they could just fill it in, basically, which, as you can see, has been agreed with. But yeah, you can't really tell that there was anything here, but if you'd look a little bit closer, you see there's like a brick line in there, especially on this side here. There's concrete blocks there as well. So yeah, this would have been like a big pit here. I guess it would have been fuel tank storage for refilling planes, I guess. As always though, if you know, please comment below. But yeah, you can sort of see it sort of dips. Yeah, we've basically stood on a big hole. Right, so that is basically it for what is in this landowner's field. Yes, that is everything that we could go to. There is a little bit more, if I can get to it. There's like a mound over there which I guess would have had something as well. There is brickwork sort of around the edge of it. We couldn't find the landowner though to ask him to access that land, so we haven't gone in there. Yeah, so that is pretty much everything on this side. So we've only got 2 more buildings now to look at. 3 actually, 3 buildings to look at. So without further ado, let's crack on and see the next 3 buildings. See you in a minute. Bye. Right, so we are now actually on what would have been the runway. You can see it's a really nice long stretch of grass straight down there. There was actually some buildings down that way. What was apparently an officer's mess and a couple of other buildings, they've been sadly demolished very recently. We did miss the opportunity with those ones. But yeah, you can literally see what would have been the runway. Right, so there's not much more to see on this bit, so let's crack on to the next bit. See you in a second. Sorry about the wind. Right, so we're here now on the sort of last area we're looking at, really, because we've missed it big time. This whole area had about 3 or 4 buildings on it. The landowners have actually started to tear those down now. All that's remaining is this one here, which is potentially an old barracks or an office block. You can sort of tell by all the windows. Yeah, it's probably residential or officers' quarters. But yeah, sadly that is the last building sort of on this area now. That's mainly, there was people on there that shouldn't have been, and I think they're demolishing them to make sure they don't come back again, basically, which is a shame to see, but it's what you have to do. It's what you have to do, isn't it? And then the only other sort of one in this area is these 2 garages here. They're having a big sort out at the moment. You can tell they've got all their stuff out, but these are all original buildings as well. I guess they were garages at the same time as well. Right, let's now move on to the next site. See you in a second. Right, so we've just made it down now. This is one of the very few surviving buildings. I mentioned a little bit earlier that they are demolishing very quickly and they're clearing a lot of the land because there is a lot of rubbish and stuff from the previous occupants. So this building is quite low down. It's not very tall, but we'll never really know what it was. It'd be a mystery forever. There's a corridor down there. There's a couple of rooms in here. Yeah, you can tell it's like all this rubbish. Another room there full of rubbish. Another room full of rubbish. This is pretty cool. Is this original? 5-star. Could this be original, or is it bad graffiti? Right, we're going to move out of here now because we've just noticed how close this thing is to collapse. Look how bad. You can see why they are demolishing. That is literally that corner. I think that would only take a strong poke and that would go. Right, let's have a quick look around here. Ooh. I guess these again would have been offices or storage. Sorry, it's a bit dark. I forgot to bring the torch. Yeah, it's really cool. Still actually one of the original lights up there. Yeah, it's such a shame to see them going, but you can see why they're all collapsing. There's another room just there, it's about the same, so I won't show you that. All those years of history are sadly now going. Right, there's only... I think this is actually the only building. Let's just skip through the collapsing bit again to get out. Alright, we'll see you in a minute. Alright, we've now come a bit closer to the building we were just sort of filming from just over there, just to get a closer look. I said earlier it might have been like an office block or something, but I've got more of a feeling that it might have actually been a warehouse. Because when you look inside, it's quite a big open area. Well, no, I guess actually it could have been a barracks, because you've got the windows. It might have even been the original mess hall or something. It's becoming a bit of a caption on the channel, but as always, if you know, comment below. They're in a really bad state of repair now. As you can see, you've got the digger out over there where they've been clearing. Oh, good God, I nearly stacked it then. Right, there's one more building we can see, and then that is the end of everything that we can see on this part of the site. I'll cut to us going over there. Won't be a second. Right, so we are now at the last building on this side of the site, which is this very small one. It's very hidden behind all this shrubbery now, but I think this one, there's my what are you hiding in the corner for? So this, I believe, would have been a fuel tank. You can sort of tell just by the size and depth of this hole. There is steps going down there. I'm not going down there. Yeah, it's absolutely huge, this hole. And then you've also got like a block there, which is, I guess, would have had part of the cover on it. There's also this thing in the wall as well, which is pretty cool. There's a hose pipe there. I don't think that's original. But yeah, that's a really strange building. I could be wrong. I'm 100% sure this would have been a fuel tank. Because you've also got it's sort of covered by all this detritus, but big concrete blocks here as well, which I guess there would have been something along here. But as you can tell, it's just all sort of been, had all sorts dumped in it and left behind, which is very annoying, which is one of the reasons why it's fallen to its demise. Right, so that is the last of the buildings on this side. We've got one more to show you just up on the main road next to the quarry. So we'll see you up there in just a second. Bye. Right, so we have just arrived at our last stop on the tour of RAF Shellingford. We're just off the Standford road. I'm having to shout a little bit because of wind and cars. But just over there you can see the only other remaining hangar from back in the day. Again, it's not in too bad condition, but yeah, they're very simple. Just corrugated cover. See if I can zoom in a little bit for you. There we go. It is really cool that these are still standing. But yeah, this would have been the very top end of the airfield, with Shellingford just over that way beyond there. Right, that is it then for what is left of RAF Shellingford. And that is it then for our tour of RAF Shellingford. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know sort of the start of it is a bit different to what I normally do, more of like a PowerPoint on the history, but the filming conditions weren't great, so we've done it a slightly different way. But I still hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've enjoyed exploring all that is now left of RAF Shellingford. As always, if you've liked the video, please hit that like button. It really does help make the channel grow. If you haven't already, also please subscribe to the channel. That would be a huge help for us. And share it with your friends. Share it on Facebook. I'll, again, like I normally do with these videos, I will put links in the description for more information about RAF Shellingford if you want to check that out, if you want to learn more. But as normal, thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you again on Oxfordshire Uncovered.